So this time of year, in our classes, whenever we're doing any sort of weapon tests, I would say knife, but we do have a screwdriver over here. We typically use pumpkins because it's way easier, quicker, and cheaper than using the ballistic gel. And we found that it's pretty similar. They're not quite the same, but it's pretty similar. So I thought it'd be fun if we filmed it and we saw what different stuff would do to the different pumpkins. And I've got a range of different sizes here. So we've got some little guys, got some little keychain type sizes, and if there's anything left, we'll of course finish it off with the espada. So we'll just work our way up and see where we run out of pumpkins. I've got 4. So we'll start off with the screwdriver, something I always recommend. If you don't want to carry a knife, it's not going to help you in a knife fight, but if someone comes up and grabs you, and this is what you've got in your purse or your pocket, it's going to do substantial damage to them, which I'll now show you. So you can see the in and out's pretty easy. It goes almost all the way in. I mean, you can get it all the way in. So it's gonna be doing damage. The problem is you can't do anything else. There's no way to increase the damage. These are the holes you get, and they're just screwdriver size holes. That's what you're looking at. There's no way to really make them any bigger. So for instance, if you step up to this, which size-wise you're pretty close. This is the Cold Steel Super Edge. You can just see real quick, you get a much nicer cut. Here's one right here. You get a much nicer cut because as you go in, it's going to be hard to do with this angle, as you go in, it cuts. And then if you get stuck, you can always just pull down and out. So again, this one goes easily all the way in. You have these nice serrations on it, so it really rips into whatever it's going into. They're nice open serrations, so they're not going to get clogged up with any sort of clothing. So for a nice quick cut, you see you get marks up to here, about halfway. So you're cutting it about 1.5 inches. Round about. You get about a 2-inch blade, and you're getting almost 1.5 inches of it in there for just a quick wrist cut. I mean, the pumpkin's also moving around; it doesn't weigh that much. If you really held on to it, you can see if it's not going anywhere. Your cut starts here, runs to here. You can see you've got most of the blade in there. It's got a fairly thin blade on it. So the in and out is just very easy, it doesn't really get caught. The grip on this thing is very textured, so it's not going to get stuck. Wipe that off and keep moving on. We'll go with the CRKT, which this one is not. This is the version by by M-Tech. Now you can easily with this one, it's not going in all the way, but you can see you have very nice holes because it is the cross section of this blade is very big. it is a very thick blade. So you're not getting the whole thing in. You can. That one went in. Most of them are only going into about here. Which for this one is just over 1.5 inches. I don't think the cuts will be quite as good though. Now it's just, you can see it's right here. It's just pretty much the tip of it slashing in. You have about 3/4 inch of blade cutting in. It's enough to draw blood. It's enough maybe to get somebody away from you, get somebody off of you. And this thing isn't going anywhere. I don't care what you get on it. It just locks into the hand and you're good to go. So next one, something a lot of people know, the little Kershaw Shuffle. Not something you really think of as being like a defensive type knife. But it's sharp, it's quick, so it can be. I mean, we just stabbed the thing with a screwdriver. I think we can use this. Now you can see it sticks worse. It's not made for this. There's a lot of blade being pushed into something. And you can easily see the mark. Yep, you guys can see it real clear. Right here is where we stopped. So much bigger blade, but you're still not at that 2-inch mark. And you can see you have a lot more knife here. But a little bit friendlier looking of a knife. For cuts though, it might win. Now you're getting some good long cuts here. This is one of them. I mean, you're getting a good you're getting a good 4.5 inch cut. And you're getting, you can see the line goes right across here. You're just slightly over the 2-inch mark. So you are getting a lot more of the cut because of this curved shape. So it is cutting in there well. Alright, that pumpkin's almost had it. So moving into the more defensive-y type category, something you would think could do some damage. We'll go with the Police, the Spyderco Police, which originally was made for police. You can see it has the normal Spyderco blade shape that most people are used to, but you can see the grind on the back here puts it down quite thin compared to the rest of the blade. So it is made for stabbing and for cutting. It does have a little bit of belly to it, but not much. I mean, most of them are going to about here, but you can see the deepest you got was all the way to here. It goes in easy. It comes out fairly easy. We're looking at 3 inches of penetration for the stab, so I mean, you're getting into something pretty good with this thing. You're getting some pretty good length cuts on it, about the same length of a cut that the Shuffle gave us. Slashes are just about here, just a little bit past that. 2, you're getting about the same cut because you don't have the blade geometry for a cut. You can see the shuffle is just curved for slicing, but not for stabbing. Police, made for stabbing, not so much for the cutting. The other Spyderco out here is the Resilience, big brother to the Tenacious and the other ones in that line. That's why we didn't stab, because we went a little crazy with the police. It's just so easy with this thing. I mean, it's the whole blade almost every time. It's definitely made to stab. It's got the full flat grind on it. So it's just made to stab. The blade is about 4 1/4, and that the whole thing went in. It's also sharp all the way down, so it just keeps on going. Cut should be pretty good with it too. As long as we didn't mar too much. There you go, guys. It just bites right in. Alright guys, it started there, went all the way there. And it's not stuck at all, that's where the cut stopped, just pull straight out. You can see the slash was all the way into there. There's about 3 inches of blade cutting into it. Just some quick cuts in. You're about here. About 2 1/4 inches in. So for cutting and for stabbing, you can't beat these things. They're very, very good at both. They're designed for both. They're really designed for anything you throw at them. The whole family of these guys. Let's go with the next pumpkin. That one was annihilated by that thing. So we have the Benchmade Infidel, one that I carry all the time. Again, this should be a very good stabbing knife, but probably not so much with the cutting. It's literally just no force, guys, and it just goes in. And then back out, too. We're at 4 inches. And there's just no way to show you guys just how little effort it is. Just the thumb. Just the thumb. It does it. 2 fingers. It's absolutely the easiest thing to get in and out. But of course, it's totally shaped for that. Cuts aren't bad, guys. For something totally made for thrusting, you're cutting into there. An 1 3/4. Not bad for something totally made for thrusting. And again, for the thrust, you're getting the whole 4 inches in and out, no problem. You totally just rapid strike something with the thrusts. So the other Benchmade I carry all the time, the 940. Turn that thing around because that ripped that up real good. Again, another fairly easy knife. Is this pumpkin softer than the other? No, it is just the knives. They aren't just performing that well. So again, I mean, you have a very nice point here, and then you have your thickest point here, and then your thickness doesn't return again until here. So once you get the tip in, the rest just slides in like it's nothing. So you're getting about 3.5 because that's how much blade you got. Got a little less blade than the other one. Cuts are just attacking this thing. It's literally almost all the way to the thumb, so it's right here. It is almost 3 inches cutting in. It's so sharp. And then the angle that thing's ground at, it's just right through. Well, guys, we have a pumpkin left for the final two, which are going to do the most damage. This one seems stable. We're going to stab the one with this, and then the Espada can have the last pumpkin do itself. So the last one has been one of my most watched videos, is on this guy. Cold Steel Safemaker 2. Yep, Safemaker 2. Love this knife. You're going to see why. So I'm going to start this one with the cuts, because it's not going to cut very much. It is a very wide, total triangle. Not made to cut. Not made to cut anything. I mean, you can see it scratches pretty good, but that is about the extent of the blade that goes in. You can see where that orange is. That's about what it does. It's not a real cutter. Now, sometimes you can get a good stroke and strike it and get a little bit blade in. You see about that much in. But again, not what it's made for at all. What it is made for is for huge stabbing. And you can see the hole it makes from just one stab. It's a gaping wound. A huge triangular wound, and just nothing stops it. And if you put a couple of them together, you just start shredding whatever you were hitting. So this whole chunk is not even there. You just start shredding things. And that is just what it does to anything. It's very easy to just stick it and just pull it out. The easiest weighing nothing. Just easy drive all the way in. Very easy to get out. An awesome, awesome tool. So we have a whole for the Espada. I didn't give you guys any size on that because I was just excited because it's so much fun. It's about 2.5 inches because it goes all the way past where it's sharp. Sometimes even your hand is what stops it. It just goes all the way. Massive, massive damage. So the Espada. So not all the way in. Pretty easy out. Oh, went all the way that time. So for the most part, other than the one that went all the way in, it stops just short here, right about where that spot is. Because you just, at that point, you're pushing a lot of blade into something. But you're talking about 3 3/4 of an inch. With, again, a very wide chunk of steel there. See how wide that thing is. If it cuts, let's hope to not cut me. So that is the whole blade just buried itself in there. Pretty easy to just pull it straight out. That is a massive cut, starting here and ending here. Same pretty much result. Again, here to here. Oh, hit a little low. Took a chunk off. It's what the Espada does. It just decimates whatever's in its path. Oh, hit the stem. I hit the stem and still managed to clear that much blade into it. It's still 1.5 inches of blade. Oh, hit with the Espada. Hit with the handle. There we go. Here to here. All the way from here, all the way across to here. And we have the whole blade buried in there. That thing has seen better days now. Espada always wins. And let's not even holding it, just do a quick little wrist flick into it, see what it can do. Yeah, well, that would hurt. That's 4 inches of blade in that thing. This is the tip of this thing. About 2 1/4 inches in that time. It just tacks. So, that's it for this time, and I will see you guys the next one. Bye.